Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but I just haven't had anything to film, plus I was getting some stuff done to the Pathfinder itself. So we were a little down for a little time there, but we're back, and we're getting ready to go on another long trip up into Utah, of all places, where we've been the last few times. But just can't get enough of southern Utah, so we're gonna head back there and do a little more exploring. But I just wanted to do a quick video to get something out there for you guys, do a quick update on the Pathfinder. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, please excuse my shadow. It's that time of day where the sun is very annoying because to get the right lighting, I need to have the sun where it's at, and that means it's gonna cast my shadow. So nothing really looks different on the outside here. Everything is still the same. However, what has been done is, if you'll remember on the Jolene Mine Trail, where I tried to reverse up an obstacle and there was a loud banging noise. If you haven't seen that before, here's the clip. I was able to drive it around on the street for a little bit, but I did lose the ability to use the locker for some reason, and because it's an automatic locker, that was kind of concerning. So what I did was we went ahead and we replaced the front diff. We took the stock, I think it's, don't quote me on this, I think the stock diff is the R180, and it uses a regular CV axle in the front. Now we're using an M205, which is from a 05 Plus Nissan Titan. It's actually the first generation of the M205. There's what they call a 2-rib and a 3-rib version. I think 2-rib was 04 to 07, and 3-rib was basically 08 Plus. Now, I didn't know this when I bought the differential. I just went on eBay and bought one because that was the easiest way I could get one. And now I'm doing a bunch of research online, and I'm finding out that the 2-ribs actually have issues, and everybody's like, make sure you get the 3-rib. And so here we are. I've already had the locker installed. I put a TRE electronic locker in the front. I had that installed, had everything refreshed, new bearings and everything, and we put it in the car. Everything seemed to be fine for about a week. One day I got home and I was just running some errands, and I parked it in a couple different places, and there was some fluid on the ground. I thought maybe it was condensation from the AC because I had been using it. Turns out it was gear oil. And the reason for it was because the stub shaft on the passenger side had popped out, and so it was leaking from there. Now this differential, unlike the R180 that uses just a standard, 2-point style CV axle, this one has like a 1-point CV axle that bolts to a stub shaft that goes into the differential. The one on the driver's side is short, and the one on the passenger side is longer. Unfortunately for me, that's the one that popped out. You can see in there that, if not, I'll just throw some pictures over this, but you can see that there's a stub shaft, and it's bolted to the CV axle. Unfortunately for me, the passenger side stub shaft is the long one, and so to get it out required a little bit of work. I actually had to remove one of the diff mount bolts and let it kind of drop down a little bit, because if you tried to pull the stub shaft straight out, it would hit the like the bump stop thing that's welded to the frame. So I had to drop the differential down a little bit so that I could get it below that, and then I had to remove the lower control arm so that I could pull it all the way out. So the issue is that the circlips that hold those stub shafts in actually were known for not holding, and Nissan actually, I think, issued a TSB and supplied some bigger circlips to prevent them from popping out. I think this differential still had the original circlips. They weren't the new larger style, and so they weren't holding very well. I went and bought some, which I thought were the right ones, and I went to fix it. Unfortunately, I bought the 08 Plus circlips and not the 04 to 07. So I basically just threw it back together just loosely enough that I could move it 100 feet from my garage to the my parking spot, because the Pathfinder will not fit in the garage. I can't park it in there, but I can pull it in like halfway to work on it. I got the right circlips and tore into it again, put them in, and it still feels to me like it grabs, and you can try to pull it out, and you can feel where it's grabbing the circlip, and it's not going to come all the way out. But if you give it a nice solid tug with your hand, it will come out. So I'm still kind of nervous about it. I've been doing a bunch of driving the last couple days. I'm on this little off-road trail right here just to film this video. Just keeping an eye on it, you know, because who knows if it pops out again, because I'm actually leaving tomorrow for our week-long trip up to Utah, and so I don't want that to be an issue on the trip. So we'll just keep an eye on it and see how it goes. I do have a couple other minor upgrades that I can show you. So some of you actually might remember when I broke both front axles on a trail out by Roosevelt Lake. And this axle was actually flopping around and put a huge dent in this shock. I have finally replaced that shock, so that is a new shock, and we are good to go there. I did replace the headlights. The original ones that I bought were already getting kind of nasty, and the one on the passenger side, not the driver's side, just the passenger side, was starting to yellow. So I bought some new ones, and this time I had a friend install some PPF on them to kind of protect them from the UV a little bit more. Hopefully that will keep them looking nice for a while. Just a quick walk around here. Like I said, not much is new on the exterior. However, I did install, I got this little table here, and this is kind of loose. It's a cheap one off of Amazon, and this is for Jeep Wrangler. But I was able to drill a hole in this area, and then, you know, a couple spots down here on the bottom. And I just put some riv nuts in, and they are being held in with some M6 bolts. But this clip here is a little loose, so I actually put this little pin in it to keep it from coming loose while I'm going down the road. But this will give me a nice little area to, this flops down, and I can, you know, do some cooking and stuff here on the trip. All right, and for those of you that might be interested, so here's my little camping setup. We've got a just a twin size memory foam mattress that I just throw in the back here. Got a little bit of extra space over here for some storage. Propane fire pit. I'll put the propane in the car before I leave in the morning. Privacy thing for bathroom. Some of the places we go, we're pretty in like a nice private area where we don't really need to have like a little shelter for the bathroom. But there's a couple places where I'm going to go where I'm going to be in a wide open area with people around, and so going to need some privacy for the bathroom. These new storage bins from Harbor Freight, and then just holding them here with some straps so that they don't bounce around when I'm going down bumpy roads. Got a couple of those, just holds my cordless impact and tire patches and all my electronic cables and charging cables and stuff. And then I got this guy from Reload Off-Road. It actually, you just take the cap off of the original dome light, and this the wires for this just go into where the bulb is, and that's what powers it, and then it just pops in here. Go ahead and turn it on here. So I got red light on mine because red light's supposed to be better for bugs. They're not attracted to red light as much. And then we got this thing here that you can loosen, and there's some adjustment here so you can just point it in any direction that you need. I had these paper towel holders 3D printed from a guy at work. They don't exactly grab on here very well, so I had to like wrap some tape around the metal to make it thicker so that they would grab better. That is pretty much everything going on in the back. So that's pretty much it as far as the Pathfinder update goes. I'll keep you guys updated on what happens with the differential if I decide to go ahead and upgrade to the 3 rib or not. Unfortunately, that means taking the diff out and swapping the locker over and all that stuff. I have not wired up the locker yet. I was going to try and do it before this trip, but most of the trails we're going on are going to be easy moderate, so I probably won't need it. And I just didn't have time. I mean, I've actually had to push. We were supposed to leave today on the trip, and won't be leaving until tomorrow morning, because the whole CB axle pop, or the stub shaft popping out thing, just, man, ran out of time. So we'll see you guys in the next one.